Hello and welcome back. This is Nick Tasteless Plot in Seoul, Korea at the Avratech Intel Classic, the largest tournament in Korea with the largest prize pool. Here we're having a recap of that incredible game that we saw earlier with with Savior against Two Sky. We're going to have Effort versus Never next. And this was the killing blow that essentially destroyed Two Sky. Not him losing the Overlord, but simply losing all of the Mutalisks. And that was what had to, that's what forced him to leave the game ultimately. Talk about some very exciting games right off the bat. I will admit the first game was pretty short and pretty simple. However, the second game was pretty interesting. The two build orders the players used, I think, with Effort hiding a few Zerglings so that if he got scouted at the start, and then taking out those, if he got spotted at the start, his opponent would see less lings, then rushing in there with the speed upgrade is done, trying to pick off a few drones. However, Savior managed to play very well despite losing his initial Mutalist group. He double expoed and focused on Scourge and managed to just come out with an excellent win. So props to him for that. Savior goes to the final 16. Two Sky goes home at 32nd place. So next we've got Effort against Never. Effort, a Zerg player, Never, a Terran player. We actually have at least one game of both of these guys, or I should say one series of both of these players casted from this tournament, and they are both very skilled players. I think this will be the third time I've casted Effort's games. The first time, or the second time I've casted Never's. So a Zerg versus Terran. The map lineup for today is going to be Colosseum first, second Andromeda, and if we go to a third game, it will be on Othello. Now here's the both of our players. That is Effort on the left, Never on the right. Effort, a member of CJ, Never, a member of Rakab. Now remember, we just saw a CJ player beat a Rakab player. Will we see a Rakab player get revenge for his teammate? Note this isn't individual teams, individual leagues. So the teams are not too significant. It simply means that these are the players who train with each other. If you're on one team, you train almost exclusively with the people on your team. Here we're getting a little bit of information about these two gamers. They have both joined the game and have confirmed that they're ready to go. So I think we're going to see this game start up pretty soon here. The map Colosseum, a pretty unique map, a map similar to Plains to Hill if you're an old school StarCraft player. And I believe we're going to get that started pretty soon here. Special thanks to our sponsors at Intel for always supporting esports. We really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who is watching. I've been informed by my boss that information about a lot of these, about this tournament itself and some of the other events we've done has spread to more forums than we had expected. So thank you, everybody, and continue to, share the word. Here's Effort at the bottom left. At the bottom right is none other than Never. Never's a pretty strong player. He's certainly good at hanging on if he's losing in the game and coming back with a win. I think Effort has some pretty strong early game. There's an Effort fan. There's there's Effort himself. Zerg will probably go for a fast hatchery, then a spawning pool, probably an extractor, put one sunken colony on the neutral creep, because there are neutral creep colonies put on this map. These Korean map makers always know how to make a map new and revolutionary so that the meta game of StarCraft shifts once again, and these players are constantly forced to practice. There is really no RTS game that is quite comparable to the level of competition that StarCraft has achieved. Not just because StarCraft is an old game, but the balance, the maps themselves, how engaging the interface is. most newer RTS games have too many automations that deter them from being e-sport-like. Looks like we're going to see barracks. Well, supply depot barracks for Never. Never putting the supply depot next to the command center so that it forces the SCVs to come out closer to the mineral patches. Double barracks for Never. And effort is indeed going to go for the fast hatchery. That was the neutral creep colony down there. Looks as though effort will unfortunately scout the wrong direction with the drone, but the Overlord will certainly find the barracks in time. One spawning pull out. The Overlord will spot the double barracks, but he will have to get out of there in time. Looks like he's going to get out of there. He may not have spotted that second barracks, so the SCV is sort of over that first barracks. So who knows? We may in fact see that. And here we see Never scouting out. He will indeed end up going the wrong way. And here's the drone now. He could possibly use that SCV to block. Oh no, excuse me. He's going to get a third hatch. Never's going to move out pretty early here with his Marines. Now, bear in mind that effort did not get his first producing hatchery, the hatchery that he first built near the entrance, so he could take some damage from a Marine SCV rush. And looks like Never's actually moving towards the center of the map. Looks like effort also has some lings out now. And looks like the battle's about to happen. Now, Zerglings can be very strong against Marines, but only if they get a healthy surround. And it looks like he's going to pick off the neutral sunk pretty early on. I don't know how useful that'll be since we're already seeing a hatchery being made, which can produce creep at that entrance anyways. We have more fans piling into the studio right now as this game's going on. Never is pretty serious about this rush, now producing a bunker, but it was canceled just in time. Here comes a surround from two angles. It does not look like effort is going to come out on top, though, and this could be a good game right off the bat. He should have made the sunken colony on the neutral creep. Unbelievable. This was not a matter of effort. This was not a matter of lack of effort, excuse me, for him losing. It was a poor decision for him to get the third hatchery there. That was quick. I think I may be eating an early dinner tonight. These games are ending very fast. Never's like, did I just do that? Did I just own that quickly? Well, I guess I did. All right. Well, the next game is going to be on Andromeda. It looks as though the Path has gotten a little bit of revenge. Shaker dominating so easily last game. So, all right, about that game. Basically, map makers make that neutral sunken colony on the map so that Zerg have the option to get a fast expansion and still get a sunken colony up to defend the entrance to your base. On some maps, Zerg have to get their first starting hatchery at an entrance and then put the next hatchery at the expansion. Effort, however, wanted to go for 3 hatcheries right off the bat, saving the money and the drone for the sunken colony. Confident that he could hold that off with a Lynx around. Never had clearly practiced against such an opener and came in there and went for the neck-breaking move. I gotta say, that was a pretty calculated rush, though, by Never. He knew how many SCVs to bring so that it would be safe. He knew just how many Marines he needed to have before he could push out. He also did excellent scouting to figure out how many Zerglings were on the way, so he knew whether or not it was appropriate to rush. Well played by Never. Both players are in the game now. So I think we're going to get this started pretty soon. The observer is asking them for confirmation, and our caster in the middle, Paul, also the mentor for Slayer's Boxer, is, well, I'm going to follow his body language and try to know when this next game is going to start. Effort versus Never. Never up one game does not mean that Effort cannot come back. But it's certainly going to be tough. In an intellectual sport like StarCraft, a game that requires concentration and focus, you can really lose your momentum when you lose very quickly, and at times in a very embarrassing manner. Kind of like we saw what happened to Effort, and also like what happened when we watched Savior versus Two Sky. Andromeda is an interesting map. It's a map that favors macro style play. You have a mineral natural in your main, and an expo right outside of that with a gas geyser. So we could see some heavy concentrated macro builds. We'll find out in just a little bit. And we're gonna get this going. It's now or never for Effort. A new pro gamer, well, actually two new pro gamers, but only one's going to leave this. If Never wins this game, Effort's eliminated. He'll have to wait quite a while before he's going to have a match that is as significant as this, except for, of course, the Pro League. Similar starting locations, only this time we're at the top. Effort at the top left, Never at the top right. Never very confident after that last game. Effort probably a bit shook up. It can be rather startling to lose a game like that so quickly, and he knows exactly what he did wrong. Normally, Terran can never beat you with just Marines. That's what Sunken Colonies are for. The Sunken Colonies can stop Marines so quickly. Once again, Never making that depot right below the command center. The spawning location for the SCV when it comes out of a command center is at the bottom left corner. So when he puts the depot there, it actually forces the SCV to pop out at the bottom right corner, thus bringing the SCV just a little bit closer to the mineral patches. And believe it or not, that actually matters in StarCraft. This is a game where pro gamers have at times up to 300 actions per minute, some even at 400 actions per minute. They are in control of everything. This game has been out for 10 years now, so it gives you an idea of how long these people have had to play the game and get good at it. Even though Flash has only been playing for 3 years and he's possibly the best at it right now. So are we going to see a fast command center? No, we're going to see the same build once again. Double barracks. Terran generally fast expand. Now when I say fast expand, I do not mean command center first. When I say fast expand, I mean they get a barracks out, sometimes two barracks out, make a handful of Marines, and then set that expansion up. Although we have seen some Terrans go for command center first simply because they trust the Zerg will go hatchery first. A lot of rock, paper, scissors psychology goes on early game with StarCraft. That doesn't mean that's all it boils down to early game, but it certainly means that you know, you want to try to pick the correct builder that's going to at least get the ball rolling for you. We see Effort moving at the bottom right with the drone. He may attempt to hide a hatchery. I believe I've seen Effort do this before. Speaking of Terran versus Zergs on Andromeda, I would absolutely recommend you check out the Flash. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I suddenly forget his name. Flash versus, well, whatever Flash's last game was on this map, it was just phenomenal. Very exciting game. I'm surprised that Effort's going to move in here with the drone. My apologies, I don't have that game in front of me. I cast so many games at these events. It's hard to remember all of them. Yeah, that last game was very exciting. We saw a hidden hatchery on the high ground. He did lose the drones there, Effort did, and that is not good. Go, CJ. The Academy is almost done. It looks like Never's going to go for a build that was probably more common about 4, maybe even 6 or 7 years ago. Standard Medic Marine opening with applied pressure to the entrance of the Zerg base, forcing them to make sunken colonies, where you then normally get a fast command center. So more Marines getting pumped out. Layer is on the way. And so is the third hatchery at the middle expansion, which is inside the main for both players. I would presume that Effort will go for Mutalisks this game, although he really needs to get rid of the scouting SCV. And the Academy, well, the scanner's almost done. Now, the fire bat is an indicator that he will probably try to break the sunken colony line. What he does is he'll rush in here, he'll stem a rush in there, and then when the Zerg brings the drones out, he will burn them down with the fire bats. And even if he doesn't break the entrance, he will at least have barbecued a couple of drones. Now, will he go in there? He's going to scan, probably check how many sunken colonies are there, and then rush in. Well, it looks like Effort took a drone off of gas. Evolution chamber out here. Probably to draw Marine fire, I think. He's going to go in there for the move now! It didn't look like it at first. The 2 fire bats in the front. And he is going to get it off. It looks like maybe not, though. A third sunken colony is up. The sunken colonies, however, have target fired the fire bats. Effort has deflected the attack. That was pretty close. Top Zerg players are generally prepared for something like that. Although it looks like he may try to go in there for another attack. He does have the medics to support the Marines, although we're not sure just how much energy they have. The Spire is almost done. Never's expansion is on the way. Here's a shot of it now. Now, either way, Effort is losing drones. He is being forced to produce sunken colonies. However, Never is getting behind in his Marine count, which will make it more difficult to hold off the Mutalisk rush. So the engineering bay is not done yet, and Mutalisks are on the way. I think it may have been not wise for Never to pick out an old school build. However, it's going to be more up to Effort right now. He's going to have to get a lot of Mutalisks out here. And he's going to have to control them very well. Here we have the SCV building a turret, and we can expect to see some more turrets on the way. Never seems a bit distracted. He has not yet transferred the SCVs to his expansion. The Mutalisks are on the way. Mutalisks on land settings are very scary. Looks like he did not quite manage to get that SCV. He will probably get this one, though. Or, okay, maybe not. Effort not really microing very well. The harassment, however, has started. Oh, not good for Effort. You get an F for Effort right now. That was just bad. Oh, it was. Even she was like, "Did you see that Mutamicro? My God." I think, yeah, he just did not deal anywhere near as much damage. I think he got 2 SCVs total. Not enough. He's going to try to come in here again. He has gotten another SCV, but unfortunately, Never's control seems pretty good. He is picking off the Mutalisks individually. Queen's Nest, we could see Guardians, or we could see the possibility of Defilers. And wow, he is getting a lot of SCVs. All right, that wasn't bad. You get a B for effort. All right, now maybe he's going to get an A if he can get a few more of those SCVs. However, Never is mustering up quite a large amount of medics and Marines. Now, the fact that we're seeing a late star port could indicate that we're going to see Guardians. It doesn't necessarily mean that. The Hive is almost done. We'll see what the tech choice is soon enough. Another sunken colony is on the way. Picking off the SCVs. And unfortunately for Never, he really should have gotten the turrets behind the mineral patches instead of closer to the command center. There is an expo at the bottom left, which it does appear as though, okay, group map with 3 drones. Now, Effort's going to have to come in with a perfect surround here on those Mutalisks, on the Marines with the Mutalisks. Here's another battle. Link's coming in here too. Never should not have stepped out of his base. Now it may be impossible for Effort to lose this. Now I assume we're going to see Defilers because we have not seen the Greater Spire begin to morph. Yes, Defilers. And a Nidus Canal down here, so that expansion should be defended with ease. +1 attack is done for the Terrans. I think we could see another excellent surround here, though. It's going to be up to whether or not this medic ring attack at the bottom left works. If not, I think it will be over for Never, although he may not punch in GG yet. Never's proven that he has pretty good medic marine control. Here he comes now. Yeah. Oh, no! The Mutalist Micro is pretty good, however, the upgrades are also pretty good on the Marines. But when the Zerglings get in there, they may be dealing too much to... Whoa! These Marines on steroids? All right, they killed up a lot more than I think you and I actually expected. However, they did have the +1 attack upgrade, although Zerglings did have the armor upgrade. Now, he's moving in here. He wants to be careful to keep the medic marine together, make sure that he's healing the right Marines. And he's got the backup now, regrouping. The medic marine, they will take out the Zerglings and then the sunken colony. More Zerglings are on the way, however, the positioning of the minerals and the extractor will make it difficult for a proper link surround. And with the medics pretty much shielding for the Marines, they have taken the Nidus Canal out. Oh, no, he took the Nidus Canal out, she says. She was probably ready for effort. Looks like, okay, I think Ever needs to stop trying to get the surround over. He doesn't have enough Zerglings. I don't know what he's doing. Get me out of here! Take it out quick! No, it's not. You're not going to get that lucky. And, unfortunately now, Zerg has Ultimus on the way. Defilers are out now. Effort can possibly use these to recover. Never has been focusing heavily on being aggressive, has not taken his mineral expansion. However, I do think that was a pretty severe blow to Effort's economy overall. All right, here we have the Dark Swarm going down. Oh, another Dark Swarm. Where's the science vessel? Where's the science vessel he needs? Oh my god, another Dark Swarm! Never, what were you doing? You needed a science vessel! Okay. Effort is probably going to win this if he gets the expansion yet. You need to have a science vessel. You just cannot get that many tanks out. Unbelievable. I don't know why he got so many tanks. It was a total ridiculous blunder by Never. What, I don't know what he was thinking. There's just nothing that would necessitate tanks right now. We haven't even seen lurkers. Oh my gosh. Never, this sucks for you. Oh man. I have never seen a game turn around so quickly due to the poor choice in unit mixture. All he needed to have was one science vessel to irradiate the defiler, which has completely changed the weather forecast in Never's base. Medics have just given up on life. The defiler rapidly gaining fat and calories from so many consumed Zerglings. I think Never, if he can hold this off, will probably last for 5 more minutes before he loses, maybe. Note Effort's already double explode again at the middle left and at the bottom right. And I'm also surprised that he actually did not expand right there. I think Never's probably in shock right now. Probably totally surprised at what's happening to him right now. Essentially, you have to get science vessels to counter the Defiler's Dark Swarm. You scanning constantly to try to see if there are defilers outside of your base. Then you irradiate the defiler, who, by the way, dies pretty quickly to irradiate before he can usually get a few Dark Swarms up. But instead he went with tanks, which would be good if Zerg was going for Zergling Lurker. But in reality, that's just not what was happening. Wow, that armor upgrade proved to be pretty helpful for the defiler. And will he get this Dark Swarm up? Whoa! He's just going to be chilling over here. He may cast a plague. Nice plague. Let me tell you, man, being plagued has to hurt. Well, since we've seen a lack of air control by our Zerg player, Effort, looks like dropships are going to be the course of action now. If he can dropship his way back into victory, I'll be impressed, because we only normally see Slayer's Boxer and Nada do that. Oh! Oh! Totally deflected this attack. He will actually, you know what? He could micro his Medic Marine away from the swarm and pick off the defiler. No, but plagued. Oh. Tough cookies, Terran. Well, that medic's gonna have a lonely flight back home. Well, Never is back in this in the sense that he has actually managed to survive the onslaught that the Zerg was throwing at him. However, I think Never really lost control of the game and lost the advantage that he had. I don't know what this medic's doing here. Effort not doing the best job in the world of utilizing his expansions. I mean, he certainly has hatcheries there, but he's not really mining with a lot of drones. Here comes another attack, and another Dark Swarm, and a plague! Effort has to be careful, though. He doesn't want to just keep throwing in these small groups of units in there, which are essentially going to be killed. Now we have another dropship, maybe going to the expansion of the middle, or he may be going for the main, or he could pick off the defiler mound, which is a pretty common technique for Terrans to try to rush that defiler mound down. Tanks tanks in siege mode are essentially what's keeping him alive from the Dark Swarm. He had enough tanks at this point in time that he could pretty much use the splash damage to kill anything underneath it. We're seeing them unload. Zerglings are on the way. Maybe too many Zerglings. Is it going to be enough? Oh, but the medic is getting in the way. But the Scourge! Whoa. I think even the dropship was surprised at what just happened there. Apparently, he never did manage to target fire one of the Scourge. Now, the positioning here is going to be tough. However, Dark Swarm, as we can predict, is pretty much very difficult for Terran to deal with. Okay. 2-2 upgrades for the Zerg. Note the Zerg did skip the Lurker tech in order to get Zerglings and Ultralists out fast. Once again, another incredible plague. I question how much energy Never's medics even have right now. Although I really don't think that attack was overall effective. Oh, is he going to get the Defiler? He cannot afford to lose a Defiler in that expansion, and he did lose a Defiler. Now having position over these mineral patches, we'll probably go for the Extractor next. More Zerglings on the way. Uh-oh, the medic stuck on top of a drone. Effort has reclaimed that expansion. 2 armor. This Marine really wanted that Defiler. A little bit too much, I have to say. Now we have 1 vessel out here, so it's going to come down a lot to can he get the irradiates off. Actually 2 vessels. Can he get the irradiates off? And that was probably not the thing to irradiate. The Defiler is what he should have irradiated. Here comes another Dark Swarm. There's the irradiate we wanted to see. However, there's probably more Defilers on the way already. I think Effort may have thrown away too many Defilers and Ultralists in a poor attempt to get ahead. Or at least stay ahead. He was ahead. He had the game won, essentially. And the vessel has been taken out. So I think, unfortunately, for Never, the push is going to be stifled if we can get 1 more Dark Swarm out here. And it looks as though Never's aware of that. He may be moving to the bottom left. And I think that Ultralist just self-destructed. I don't know what killed him. Probably a tank, actually. Going directly for the hatchery. No, the Overlord. Okay, he's going for everything now. Effort will lose this expansion, but will he get trapped within that area? And Dark Swarm. And it looks like Zerg's going to be backing off now. Effort is going to have to make sure the Terran does not get that expansion right there. And here comes some more Dark Swarm. He's going to throw up a good... okay, there's 1 Dark Swarm. Not the best Dark Swarm. However, he will be picking up a lot of units. Ultralist, nice micro there by Effort. Now backing off. Well, sitting under the Dark Swarm. Unfortunately, the tanks still do splash damage under that. But here comes another Dark Swarm. Right there! And I think the rest of these Ultralists, if they are controlled well enough, and they're not being controlled quite well enough now, will be picking up the rest of the Medic Marine. Here comes some Zerglings to reinforce that. Alright, here's a counterattack over here at the far right. This is what Effort needed. And I'm pretty sure the Zerglings with the Adrenal upgrade will probably have picked off that command center by now. And indeed they did. Effort will probably have to make a few more expansions while Never makes the next command center inside of his main in a safer location, then floats it. And here comes a nice flank here. Completely cutting off the concentration that army needed. The Terran army is always so much stronger when it is clustered together. And I think that may be the killing blow for, oh, well, that too. Or that. Yeah, I think that's going to be the killing blow there. Because he just doesn't have a sizable army. Now, this is Never's probably last attempt at ditch effort here. He is going to try to land and kill off the critical tech structures and then do a push. No, he's going to land here because of the Ultra. Let's go! Maybe not enough, though. Oh, and I think we know what's going to happen here. Plagued. And there's simply nothing that Terran can do. Oh, yeah, as we can see here, I expect GG in about a minute here, if not less. Zerg is simply put too big. He actually consumed an Ultralisk, and it looks like, I have to say, Effort does not have the best Dark Swarm placement, but he certainly has a very good macro. Despite at times losing a multitude of units, he is certainly good at keeping the momentum and keeping the map control. Here we have 3 vessels out. And again, you can see that that's the only place he can expand to. He just doesn't have any map control, and it's going to be very, very easy for Zerg to keep him from getting that. Looks like we have a dropship. He's going to try to sneak in here. Either that or drop the bottom right. 2 vessels here, so this is going to be a pretty aggressive drop. Possibly usage of the eraser technique, which is used to take out drones. Okay, that didn't work out either. And here we have another big attack coming up here. And with a Dark Swarm like that, I think it's pretty clear who's going to come out ahead. And a Plague like that really ensures it. You see, all that Zerg has to do is keep whittling down this army size. Terran will never get out of the base. And you can see Effort probably even has units rallied outside of his opponent's base now. Scourge coming in here. And nice control there. And Effort's playing this out perfectly now. Effort is probably more than aware he's won. You can see Never GG does not look that happy right now. Did I just call him Never GG? That's actually a Team Liquid member name. This guy's name is simply Never. Let's probably say Never GG because I was expecting him to type that in pretty soon. Here it is. Never has lost. The game is tied at 1-1. We're going to go to a quick break here. Very exciting series. There's your winner, Effort. You hear the crowd is pretty happy too. Well played by Effort. Stay tuned, we got more games coming up. What will it take for you to break the self-humiliation? Welcome back. We've got the 3rd game coming up here pretty soon. 2 very exciting games with Never against Effort. This is Nick Tasteless Plot broadcasting to you from Seoul, Korea at the Avratech Intel Classic. This map will be Othello, the 3rd game. I have to say we saw a very back and forth game just 1 game ago. I think it really came down to a loss when... Well, actually, let me put it like this. Effort was going to lose that game, no doubt in my mind about it, after he lost that first expansion at the bottom left and lost the majority of his unit count. But for some reason, Never did not get any vessels. So then when the Defiler tech came up, Effort just casted Dark Swarms and just wiped out the majority of his opponent's army, and the result was that Terran spent most of the game desperately trying to get another expansion up and get any map control at all, and Zerg was just too far ahead. So Never is going to have to play a little bit more consistently than that, a little bit more in control, and obviously predicting what are the most common Zerg pro gamer tech patterns here, and responding accordingly if he wants to come out with a win here. So we're going to see what happens in just a few. Both players are ready. They're in the game. They had their bathroom breaks, as did I. So I would say pretty soon here, this game is going to get underway. Othello's an interesting map. And these maps have probably been out for about, 2 months now, a month now. So they're still fairly new. I'm excited to see how these guys are going to play on them. This is probably one of the maps I've casted the least on at this tournament, but it is nonetheless a very good map. I'm also curious as to how Never is going to use, or what kind of build order he's going to use in this last game. If he's going to go with the same build order he's done the last 2 times, or if he's going to go with something a bit more typical. Because I'd have to say his build order he's doing right now is pretty old school, despite the fact that he's a pretty new school player. So again, a Zerg versus Terran. If you're just now joining us, welcome. And if you've been watching since the beginning, thank you for sticking with us. By the way, the next match we're going to have is going to be Great versus Violent. I think that's going to be a tough match for Great, but it is possible for Great to come out with a win. He is a very good player. Get ready, this game's going to get going pretty soon here, and I can't wait to get it started. Effort versus Never. The third game, we once again have the players fairly close to each other. Here's Effort at the bottom right. Our Terran player Never at the bottom left. This is an interesting map. There is a neutral structure, which I believe cannot be destroyed, in the back of your base, which allows only small units, such as Marines, to fit, this is going to be hard to explain, to fit above your cliff. So essentially you have a high ground which can be cliffed. And when I say cliff, if you're not familiar with that term, that's when you put, a few units up there to shoot down the units which are mining minerals on the low ground. You can put something up there, and only small units can fit back there to take it out unless you get a drop ship or an upgrade drop with your overlords. Or get air units. Now, will that impact this game? I'm honestly not too sure, but it certainly could. Looks as though Zerg is going to be scouting pretty early. That's actually earlier than you normally see somebody scout. Is Zerg. A lot of times the Zerg scouts, when they are going to send out their first drone for the expanding hatchery, maybe we'll see a pull first from Zerg because of that. Now, so very soon, it looks like Effort is going to find the location of his opponent. And in fact, no, he will hatchery on 12. Excuse me. A little bit of drone harassment here. As you can see, Effort does have very good micro. Look at that drone breakdance away from that SCV. Oh, but deflected. If he wants to, he can. Oh, don't lose the drone! He's probably going to go on the extractor and do the cancel trick to get full health, or he's going to leave. You can start building an extractor and then cancel it, and if your drone is wounded, it actually comes back with full health. And looks like he's going to keep that drone out there as a spotter. Now being chased out by the Marine. Fast expansion over here. Command center any second now. Effort doing what he seems to be pretty comfortable with. 3-hatch build. And when I say 3-hatch build, I'm referring to the fact that he did not get the extractor yet. Because no matter what, you're eventually going to see the Zerg have 3 hatcheries. And look at this. He's actually going to come in here with the first Marine calling Effort's bluff. Effort did not make any Zerglings. Well, he has some out now, but he's already messed up the mining patterns down here. That'll hurt his opponent's economy a little bit. Just a little bit. But just a little bit can turn out to be quite a bit in StarCraft. The bunker's on the way. There is a neutral building that kind of helps to wall off part of the entrance to where your expansion is. It can also be repaired by Terran units. That's probably so that Terran can still do a very interesting fast expand build on this map and wall off that region against Protoss, though. This command center will be done soon. No, Zergling almost deciding to go by. Looks like one's going to get in there. Maybe not. Our Terran player Never is trying to keep this SCV alive for as long as possible. Looks like he's actually decided he's going to back off now. No, he's going to go back inside. He wants to see what the layer tech is going to be. Is he going to be a Hydralisk? Like a Hydralisk stand for lurkers, or is it going to be Mutalisks? So far, he's done a pretty good job of keeping that SCV alive. If the SCV does not survive, he will have to spend 2 scans checking to see what his opponent has. Looks like the drone is fat enough that it can block that ramp off. One Zergling probably will not get in here. As you can see, we have a lot of CJ fans. And I have to say, that is exactly what Effort looks like. There you go. I mean, almost like photorealism there. I mean, wow. Engineering bay coming up here. We're going to get stim pretty soon. The medics are out. Never's going to pick off that building. He probably wants to have a large group of units rallied outside of his base, and he's going to make some room. Plus, there's nothing too pragmatic about keeping the building alive out there. Actually, I should say keeping the building there, because buildings aren't really alive. And it looks like we may see another medic Marine break. I don't know if he gets fire bats, he could possibly break that by burning down the links. Stim is finished. I highly doubt we're actually going to see him rush in there, though, with that small number of units. He may get this Overlord, though. He doesn't want to lose that Overlord. Whoa. That was close. You especially don't want to lose the Overlord in a critical teching moment like this. Oh my gosh. Isolated fire bat. He's clearly not strong against it. Okay, what? Fire bats were out on a stroll. They should have been back at home, or at least with the medic Marine where they had cover. The Mutalisks are about to be out. We're going to see 9 Mutalisks, then probably 2 more to make 11. 1 Overlord hotkeyed in the group. A bunker in the back of his base, so Never going to be prepared for some Mutalisk harassment. Well, the last game, Effort didn't start out with some very strong Mutalisk harassment. As the game progressed, the Mutalisk harassment got a lot better. Now, it looks like this building's going to get killed. Saga Collins just couldn't take it anymore. Turret placement is so critical in StarCraft, especially against Mutalisk harassment, which is essentially inevitable. Never is going to cover these turrets. Pro gamers use the hold position button to micro the Mutalisks. That way the Mutalisks don't end up flying over the medic marines, but they stop right in front of them and fire, and then you can zip back. Although you really can't pull stuff up like that on Battle.net, only on land. Should have had 2 turrets there. And unfortunately, this little area, those 4 mineral patches are going to be under heavy fire from the Mutalisks. Note the position of the 2 Hydralisks. He can morph 2 lurker eggs and block that off if he needs to. Very intentional placement. Second engineering bay. Looks like +1 attack is already done. We'll click on a marine here in a little bit. I won't the observer well. Effort really taking out a lot. Okay, the +1 attack was done. Effort really taking out a lot of SCVs.
이제는 치고 나오면서 이 SCV로 그 한시 지형의 어떤 멀티 지역을 확인하는 순간 나올 거란 말입니다. 선수. 나오는데 이 나오는 병력 조심해야겠죠.
So, in reality, Never's taken a considerable amount of damage and has really had his SCV count reduced. As you can see, Effort really okay. Now we won't actually have the scouting SCV get in there, but I'm pretty sure that Never's going to know there's an expansion there because there's absolutely no reason that he would put 2 lurkers in a location like that. When the vessel comes out, and I presume Irradiate might already be done actually, but when the vessel comes out, Terran's going to push. Sometimes they wait for 2 vessels. However, I think it'd probably be wiser to push now because the Hive is on the way, and he wants to get there before defilers come into play. Effort is going to be getting some lurkers this time. We didn't see any lurkers in the previous game. He's going to go for the vessel assassination. And again, Effort's control not always the best with his Mutalisks. Top Zerg players are so good that they will know the exact timing of when your vessel's going to come out there. Sometimes fly in there and just try to pick off all of those, or at least just one of the only science vessel that comes out, because in reality you are so far behind if you lose the first science vessel. Zerg Hive on the way. Looks like he spotted the first 2 lurkers. The lurkers are now backing off. Zerg's going to have to get ready for a surround. Now he's going to move in now. He can't afford to lose that vessel! The vessel's been picked off. It's up to scans now if he wants to spot anything. Sieging up, scanning, stimming, and now rushing in here. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure that... looks as though, yeah, I think the angle of the lurker is going to be too strong. That's what I was afraid of for the Terran. Effort really proving to be a very strong new pro gamer. He may have lost in a total screw-up in the first game, but he is back in this now. Never, however, it looks like he's broken at least somewhat of the lurker containment. And there, that group of lurkers, there's no way the brains can engage that. Rushing in here. Tanks and vessels on the way. We don't see one of the engineering bays upgrading. You can see Never's not quite controlling his units that well. He actually did move that siege tank into the range of the lurker fire. Here he comes now! And the vessel's been taken out again! Oh my gosh. Lurker's burrowing within range of the tank. I don't believe that one tank is there. Whoa. Never just got pissed and killed all of his opponent's units. He was like, enough of this. However, the lack of vessels means that when Consume has been upgraded for the Defilers, they will have so much power. Burrowing the Lurkers, and oh, bad Lurker, no! Almost lost another one. This is really Never's weakness, is his vessel control. He's a very good player, as is Effort. These are two high-level pro gamers, but they're just only a few things they could work on to just be the best. Another hatchery goes up. And here comes the Lurkers now. And no, not another vessel. It had to happen. Okay, here's some more Lurkers leapfrogging over here. Looks like this Expo has been spotted. It will be safe with the Lurkers on the ramp. Braves are going to go check it out. Not a good idea. Actually, medics. The Marines have to back off. They're just too weak. I always think of how strong Marines could be if they just got into the medic suits. Because, you know, those medics, they have more hit points. That is what the Terror need to do. That is how they defeat the Zerg, is get your Marines in the medic suits. Okay, here comes another attack now. Oh my gosh! Nice swarm! Talk about a close call there for both players. Oh, not again. At least he got the irradiate up, but 2 Dark Swarm are making it impossible to push this area. I have to say though, Never, he has a lot of units all over the map. I think if he gets all those units and hotkeys them together and starts pushing forward, I think he could actually take Effort out, despite the fact that he's losing so many vessels. Another hatchery up here. Clearly, Zerg's economy isn't doing bad. Zerg needs to get another expansion. That's the burden Effort is faced with right now, and I think that's how he's going to do that. Tank manages to survive. The siege another day. Here, we have the siege tanks now out here. More Consume. It's going to be up to these 3 Lurkers to hold off this attack, and he's going to do it right now. Get ready for a Dark Swarm. Here it is. Never is really applying an incredible amount of pressure. And, oh, actually, that was a pretty crappy play. He probably should have saved that for Dark Swarm, actually. Now, Effort has to hold this off. Even though Never has been losing vessels at probably a world record rate, I think that Effort is behind in his expansions. And Never has really buckled down after that last game, showing even though he can't keep vessels, he can certainly make them and at least get one irradiate off before he lets them die. And that's all he might need to take on his opponent. Effort's going to consume a few more Zerglings. Command Center's almost done. Oh, nice plague. That made up for the bad one earlier. SCV is being transferred to another expansion for Never. Dropships are now out, so he will probably drop you back or something. No, he's going to go for the clip, actually, because he got the tank there. Now burrowing the Lurkers, cutting off the reinforcements, but here comes Never, regrouping to take out these units which are interfering in the middle of the map. I don't know what happened to that dropship. Like Amelia Earhart, the dropship has disappeared. Okay, here comes a big battle now. Nice Dark Swarm. And he's gonna clearly leapfrogging forward with the Dark Swarm. The siege tanks do not deal splash damage to lurkers burrowed underground on the Dark Swarm, but they do take damage to lurkers above ground in the Dark Swarm, as siege tanks deal splash damage to everything that's above ground with Dark Swarm. Well, it looks as though he's managed to get this expansion up. Nice plague, although he didn't plague his own sword. It seems as though Nevers had a tough time keeping his units together. Ultralisks are out because he does have the fourth. Here's the drop now. This is not the same drop ship that had the tank in it, so we don't know what happened with that. A plague, though, I think, obviously Cirque's gonna have to hold us off because the Green's a plague. But he's not done yet. He's gonna keep going. He's gonna have to drop next to that Defiler. And I'm not sure if he's going to do that. Now rushing forward. And is he going to get the Defiler? Dark Swarm deflects it. He's going to have the micro backwards, now attacking the would-be sunken colony, backing up once again. Fortunately, oh, nice dodging the plague. Effort cannot mine from this expansion right now. If he had one fire bat in there, he could burn the Defiler. Nice move by Effort, though. Dark swarming the mineral patches so that his drones can keep mining. More dropships over here. Probably going for the main. And he is going to be able to take out the majority of his tech tree. This is not good for Zerg. It looks as though he's now moving the other dropship somewhere else. Another nice irradiate. Nevers' vessels are starting to grow in numbers. And perhaps he did not load that dropship up with anything. Oh, barely not taking out. Okay, he's going to get the Defiler mound, though. That means that Defiler under that swarm is going to be very lonely for the majority of this game until he can get another Defiler mound up. Yeah, there's just no way that the Marines are thrown against that. Those Ultralisks never probably waiting until he can mass up enough vessels. He may actually go for a very big push soon, since he did take out the Defiler mount. This medic wants to go in there, but you can't do it alone, medic. Dark Swarm's coming in here now. Everett's going to try to reduce the unit count to delay the... Whoa! Nice plague! That is going to be a lot of minerals to repair that. I think that was the most baller plague I have seen in a while. Effort does or has secured his expansions. He doesn't have a lot of drones mining there. No, I don't think Effort should have set that in there. There's just not enough units. But a Dark Swarm and another vessel's taken out. And oh man, he can take out so many tanks now because the plague has done so much damage. The tank count has been reduced though. Never should have been defending that expansion. However, it is difficult for Terran to spread out their army on large maps. Now I think we're going to see another dropship. Well, a push is occurring. It's going to be up to whether or not Effort can stay alive. He's going right here. He could get the Spire. That would stop Never from losing all of those science vessels, losing the entire game. a few fire bats out here. Zerg buildings aren't all that flammable, however. Getting the pool, no more links. Nexus Aspire.
이렇게 되면 이게 사이언스에서 뭘 났으니까 김정호 선수가 여기서 당할 수밖에 없는 게 센터 쪽으로 나가야 되는
And those Marines and fire bats are just going to chill there. There's just nothing telling them to get too much farther forward. Here's the push now. And it will radiate the lurkers underneath the Dark Swarm. Probably going to scan to try to find the Defiler. There's one. There's another. Oh man, I don't think Never can lose this now. He's just got too many units. Wow, looks like Effort is doing a pretty good job of holding this off. Effort needs another expansion, though. He has to get another expansion. He just cannot afford to be back here defending, which is what he's been doing for most of this game. Upgrades are very good for both players. Another irradiate. He's got to unsiege it back up. And nice backup indeed. The tanks can take the bulk of the damage while the Marines deal it. Oh! Another incredible plague. This has been easily the most intense game of the games today in the tournament. A queen is out. How exotic. What a novelty. Word on the street is queens aren't going to suck in StarCraft 2 either. Which is exciting. Plus one attack here. He's probably going to use the Queen Tea to parasite the vessels, or to possibly infest the command centers when they get to half health, since Terra's pretty spread out now. Vessel's very low on HP. But Everett's ability to use Dark Swarm is really preventing Terran from getting too close to him. This has been like a non-stop battle this entire game. And I think this is like that Starship Troopers all over again. I just can't believe how much gore we are seeing here. A Radiant's getting thrown down. He is going to get that expansion of efforts. And Dark Swarm or the Plague, he's going to have to rush either forward the Dark Swarm or get behind it. That also has dealt a lot of damage. Looks like he's going to move forward to where the units cannot get within the Dark Swarm. They radiate. Oh, but one mule is taking out a lot of vessels. Well, at least two. And now backing up. One Ultralisk over here. Will probably take out a lot of those units. The command center's been taken out. Never is actually in awful condition now. Bear in mind, Everett did not have a lot of units mining minerals at the top right 2 expansions. So he could probably stay alive and use those for at least a little bit longer. Never has taken out the Mineral Expo. Never might need to go into a defensive mode. Never desperately trying to push the main base of his opponent, knowing if he could take out the tech tree, he can win the game. It's all going to come down to whether or not Never can break this entrance, hold off the units which are coming up here. He needs to irradiate that Defiler. The Defiler needs to consume something. Come here, drone. What? I did never see something eaten at such a distance. It like teleported into his mouth. Okay. Queen is just chilling over. Oh, he's going to infest the command center. Oh, I think he could infest the command center. Wouldn't that be cool? He's going to, he's got one more Dark Swarm up. He has managed to break in here. He will take out this hatchery. A little bit less Vespian gas for his opponent. And oh, the Queen is right next to it. We could see some awesome humiliation stuff only he moves the queen over there, but I believe Effort is too busy trying to actually stay alive this game and hold off this oncoming attack. Oh, the Zergling's doing a lot of damage, but now stepping out of the Dark Swarm range. Oh, he needs to get something fast. And it looks like Terran's not going to try to move forward, taking out the critical Zerg tech structures, including the Hive. If he takes out the Hive, he will have actually reset the Zerg's tech tree. Zerg will have to get a Hive again, which will be very difficult in a position such as this. And he's going to irradiate the one Ultralisk in the base. Now, medic wall at the entrance. Once again, nice hold by Never. Effort's going to run in here and try to take out these units. It's not going to be enough. The medics are acting as an excellent wall. And Effort is going to lose his main. I don't know how long this game's been going on, but it feels like it's been going on for a while. But after all this time, Effort finally manages to break his opponent. He could infest that with the queen. Oh my god, he's gonna do it! Oh my god! Oh, he saved it! That was close. Had he gotten the command center, Never would have had an expansion would have had no expansions with mineable resources. That was close. This is a very close game. Effort has the minerals, but does not really have the tech tree. Never has to defend this expansion. It's his only hope. Effort's now remaking his spawning pool. I would bet that Effort is not only behind on his food count, but also he's also behind in minerals and everything else, even though Never is probably not too far ahead. Some Zerglings and Ultralisk rushing over here. They'll probably turn around, though, and go for the SCVs. Here they go now. No, he's going to go for the command center. And he doesn't lift the command center. He lifts the command center. I don't think there's another queen anywhere either. Zerglings spot the dropship moving out. Oh, another queen! And he's going to move these Zerglings and Ultralisk down here to try to get in the way. Never. Effort's going to have to stop this attack over here. It's been infested! Oh my god! This is so awesome. This game has been so close. I still can't quite tell who's going to win. Effort has still trying to rebuild his tech tree, has hardly any units. Meanwhile, Never is just trying to get an expansion. He'll have to lift one of his command centers if he doesn't have enough minerals. Now he will irradiate the queen. This game may have started out a little sloppy, but it is turning out to be a top-level game. Never may sit back, mass up, spending all of his units or all of his minerals and Vespian gas on tanks, vessels, medics, marines, then try to do an all-in push while he lifts his command centers and mines from another expansion. Here he goes now. Going for a drop. That's going to go to the cliff. The push over here is going to go towards the front of the expansion. Here come the vessels. They're going to irradiate these Ultralisks. 3 irradiated Ultralisks. And a Defiler. The Defiler may die before his journey completes, and yes, it will. He's now going to pick off those Ultralisks with ease. Here comes the vessel sneaking over here. I call it vessel to dropship. I am so pumped I can barely focus on this game. And another dropship also sneaking over here. Meanwhile, a big push. It's all up to this moment now. Never has to be effective in this window of time. Effort now taking out the cliff drop. Meanwhile, backdrop over here in Effort's main. Effort has to hang on. He can't afford to waste too many units in the drop. Losing some Zerglings. Does he have any Ultralisks? I don't believe he has anything. I think this could be the end of Effort. There's one Ultralisk, a few Zerglings. And I don't think any of those things got in there. Okay, it's all going to be in this moment. Never's going to win this game. He's taken out too many of Everett's units. Everett was too spread out. He should have saved the Defiler. He should have saved the Ultralisks. And I expect GG in a few seconds. And I think a bunch of medics just exploded. Oh my god! Infested Terrans. We saw at least one infested Terran use there. GG! Wow, those were some exciting games. Ever is the winner, probably relieved after what was a very close game. What a baller. I have to say, I was very impressed with those. That was easily the most exciting game I have casted today. We really did not know who was going to win until the last minute. I would definitely recommend that VOD to anyone. Up next, we've got Great versus Violet. And I'm sure that game will be just as exciting, although I will admit that game was pretty hard to top. Stay tuned for that. We're going to take a little break here. Just going over that last game, I think Never did a great job of being aggressive the entire game. It was like a non-stop battle. Unfortunately for Effort, he just didn't manage to get enough expansions up. Effort was essentially defending the entire time. And although he did do such a good job of defending that never got an expansion up, Effort, unfortunately, was systematically picked off and was too overly aggressive at the end when he needed to be, he needed to bring his A game to his defense the most. So, wow, talk about amazing games there. I hope I still have a voice by the end of today's games because they've been so action-packed. And, we only have 32 players left in this tournament. We are slowly eliminating them. In a little bit over a month, we'll know who's going to be the #1 pro gamer out of these 128 players. Should be very exciting. There's, again, another shot of Never, probably very relieved. He's now going to make it to the final 16. Talk about exciting. Thank you again to our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We've got some more commercials, some more Korean commercials coming your way pretty soon here. I believe our casters will now be signing out and our new casters will be stepping in. There's only one tasteless, so I stay here the entire time. And, feel free to spread the word about these StarCraft games. The feedback overall has been very positive. People are very excited to see true esports at work. So, tell everyone, tell your friends, spread the word. Whether you want to watch the Korean cast or the English cast, doesn't bother me. Just make sure you watch it. And I think we're going to be signing out now. Goodbye, Grimto. Goodbye, Juno. And now Paul will say goodbye. I think. Stay tuned. We got more stuff coming up.